Is Mr. Rob Baronin here again, and we're talking about Quan Chi and what cameos to pick with him. And in the last video we were talking about Serena and how she gave some really good strengths, how she could get full combos from full screen thanks to his cancelable standing kick. And that same strength actually applies to Frost with her ground freeze. Now ground freeze can do basically the same thing as Serena's sickle tosses, but it has the added benefit of some extra mix-ups in some of Quan Chi's strings. So the main strength itself is that from not full screen, Serena's can reach from further, but around this distance, which is a decent distance, you can combo from your standing heavy kick, or standing 4, sorry, into Frost's low ice, and then dash in or jump in to get a full combo. But his standing heavy kick is a very fast, full screen kick that can be... So now anywhere on the screen you're getting 31% anytime the opponent does anything and you react to it with this, which is a pretty big strength. Just getting combos super easily from any point is like crazy. And like I mentioned in the Serena one, if Rain goes for a bubble or anyone goes for any kind of setup or whiffing a button, you can always easily just go for this. And Quan Chi's already pretty good at whiff punishes with this back 3, so anytime you're walking around and you see someone whiff something, you can usually back 3 into full combo. But if you are just a little further away, well, you can just press 4 and then go into a full combo with the freeze, which I think is pretty awesome and a pretty big strength that Frost gives. But this ground freeze also is a low, so you get some extra mix-up potential, and Quan Chi has quite a few overheads. So simply enough, even just off of your overhead, you can cancel and get a full combo using it. And I wouldn't say this is like mixy mix, but it might catch some people off guard going overhead low. It's not particularly fast, but it might do something, and you get a combo from it if it hits. But in the middle of his strings, like say for example, he's got this 1-3, which is an overhead, and you can mix that in for 1 Frost. And both of these lead to a combo, so there's not like a higher reward on either of them, which makes it harder for the opponent to guess which one's coming out. Also, off of 2-1-4, you get this double overhead at the end of the string, which means, you just have multiple chances for switching in a low. And all of them combo super easily and all lead to the exact same situation where you can go for whatever B&B combo you like to, and you're always going to be getting around 30% meterlessly just with a cameo. Pretty cool, pretty simple, and pretty good mix, especially considering all of these overheads are safe. So there's not really much risk, and if you feel like the opponent is going to be blocking them, switch in for the low, and that double overhead low mix is pretty scary, and it's going to catch a lot of people. So yeah, ground freeze, really good, not only just, part of the zoning kit where you can throw out a full combo thing, you can cancel it from your standing 4 while you're zoning to whiff punish things really well, and it also works well as mix-ups, and just generally leads to good, more damaging combos when you're up close, because whenever you combo into it, you can either use it to just, if the opponent is grounded and you're just starting a combo, you go into the same combo route you always do, but you can even use it at the end of some combos, freeze the opponent, put up your portal, and then get a more damaging ender, where you do something like this, and then bring out the skulls, and here's an example of that. That's a lot more damaging of a combo ender, and it pushes the opponent full screen. That combo route there usually, it doesn't do too much damage, but adding that Frost and the extra skulls in does make it do a decent bit more. So that's a cool example, and Sub-Zero can do that if we get to him in the future. So ground freeze, very useful. But all of her other cameo moves are also quite useful for Quan Chi in similar ways that Serena's were. So you have these ice spikes, either you just tap it for the big ice spike that's plus, or you can hold it down for the multi-spikes that push the opponent really far away, but they are highs. So that just means anytime I'm doing something and I want to just not have to deal with being minus or it being the opponent's turn, whether that's off of pokes like a down 4 or something, cancel into this, push them far away and I'm plus. Or if I really just like being far away from the opponent in a certain matchup and my zoning is working really well, pretend the opponent is trying to walk me down and I'm just walking away from them and I'm just holding back, I can just tap my back button, and if they get hit by it, they get totally pushed full screen by this, or even if they block, they still get pushed completely full screen, and look at all that chip damage. Even if I do it off of a down 4, which is a little bit harder to mash out of, that's a lot of chip damage, and you can just do this off of anything. You have a lot of decent space controlling buttons like this forward 2, down 4, back 3, down 4, forward 2, And just, yeah, anything if you want to end a sequence and not actually be minus and be the opponent's turn. Like, say example, you know, you're going in between the mix of having the gap or going for this string. I don't actually really want to end this string because then it's kind of might be the opponent's turn, especially if they duck. So I'm just going to do this and stay plus and I'm far away and now I can just do my stuff. It just makes it a lot easier to make decisions where you don't even have to consider the fact that it could be the opponent's turn, and no matter what I'm doing, I can always be in a situation that I want to be, either really far away or decent, slightly plus. So those are really cool. Unfortunately, they're not fast enough that the opponent can actually kind of duck out of them, so if I get the opponent to do this to me, this is down 1 into Frost, I can poke out of that, this is down 3 into Frost, I can poke out of that, but down 4 actually can't be poked out of. Which is just a cool way of, once again, keeping your turn very, very easily. And for a final note, the orb, not so useful. I haven't found any amazing setups yet, but the fact that it was just buffed in the previous patch, or this current patch that just happened with Quan Chi, makes it pretty useful. So anytime you can get it out, perhaps, you know, you're zoning and you special cancel this kick or something and the opponent gets hit by it, you might be able to get it out. It does travel full screen now, so you can just be zoning and this thing will be traveling towards the opponent the entire time. Say if I like end a full combo in this, I throw a projectile, go for an aerial projectile, and then that hits the opponent, they have to really respect that. So you get a lot of time where you can throw out some weird zoning stuff with like this trap, or overheads, a lot of things. You have a lot of time because the opponent doesn't really want to do anything while this Frost Orb is traveling at them, because if they jump, it can track jumps to a certain extent, and it leads to a full combo if it hits them, so people are going to really be scared of that, and they can't just walk away and expect it to not hit them, because you can just be zoning, and there's a good chance that it might actually still reach them. So you get a lot of chip damage if they're just trying to walk away and block things. Very cool. And yeah, that's basically Frost and Quan Chi. You have the great benefit of getting full combos off of any of your stand 4s, have slightly improved combos and mix with the ground freeze as well, some good plusness and safety with either the ice spikes or the multi-punch, and if you do go or find some cool setups with this orb, it is pretty good and does play very well with his zoning. Yeah, that's Frost and Quan Chi. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!